Alright, let's start with the mechanics topic. I think we can start more specifically on how do 1v1s go, or I guess how do the fights go in this game. How do these fights go? What's really happening in our screen, in the game? Let's understand this to the core, okay? So really all that's happening is there's a circle in your screen, like you have an enemy in your screen, and you have his head. And his head is kind of a circle, and whenever that head shows up, like whenever he shows up in your screen, he showed up, then there's a head. It's a circle. So all you wanna do is, when you find the circle in your screen, you wanna move your cursor towards it and then click on it. That's all that's happening. This is like a fight in Valorant. This is what it is. You wanna put your crosshair on the circle and you wanna shoot. You wanna press your mouse one button or whatever you have to shoot. Okay? So if you look at it in the most simple way, this is what all it is, right? So let's say I'm just scanning around, moving around, then finally someone shows up. I just flick my mouse and I shoot. Okay? I want to put my crosshair on their head and then I shoot. Okay? And I can shoot more bullets, whatever, to make sure that I hit. But the idea is always the same. I want to shoot circles in my screen. Okay? Now, this is not just that easy, right? You have a limited time to shoot the head because the other guy is also trying to shoot you, and if he shoots you first and he kills you, then you cannot kill him anymore, because when you die you can't do anything anymore. You're dead for the round, right? So you have a limited time to shoot, right? You have to kill him before he kills you. So this is really important, and this is a simple concept to understand, but to understand how much time you actually have to get these kills, because you have to understand how close your enemy is to killing you. This is a very, very important thing to learn, and it will make your mechanics a whole lot better. Okay, so let's say this is like what my enemy is doing. Like I see him and he's looking over them. He cannot see me where I am, right? So that means I have a lot of time to get the kill, because I'm not even in his screen right now. So he's not even aware that I'm here and I'm going to shoot him. So right now I have all the time in the world, right? But if I'm here when I show up, like whenever I see him, if I'm here, I'm already in the screen, right? We're both like looking kind of towards the same direction, and then we can both flick at the same time. So in this case, I would have a little less time before I can kill him, right? Because he's also gonna try to kill me and he's already seeing me, right? Let's say when I find him, he's already like here, looking at me, something like this, right? I find him, he's already looking at me. Then the amount of time that I have to kill him is a lot less, because he's already with his aim, with his crosshair already very, very close to where I am. So the adjustment he needs to do is very small, and he's gonna shoot the gun and then I'm dead, right? So understanding how much awareness your enemy has of your presence and how close his crosshair is from your head is basically it's basically the best way to understand how much time do you have alive, and which basically translates to how much time you have to kill him. Okay? Now, understanding how much time you have to get the kill is very important. Why? One of the biggest mistakes I see literally every player do, even in higher ranked lobbies, like even Immortals do this. Like even I do this, even though I know this and I teach to people all the time. Even I do this sometimes because it's just a human reaction. It's something I call panic shooting, which is basically just someone shows up in your screen and you instantly assume you don't have the time you have to kill him. You instantly assume it's very, very low. You don't have almost no time. You're just gonna die. So you want to act fast and just do something like this. You flick really fast and shoot at the same time and kind of hope you hit your shot, right? What happens is, this is not. First of all, you see how many times I'm missing. This is what's gonna happen most of the time. If you just flick really fast and you don't have really good accuracy, you're going to miss a lot of shots. And missing shots is bad because there's a thing called recoil in these guns that we play, and which is basically the longer you shoot, the more out of control the bullets get, and the longer the recoil goes, the harder it will be to correct, right? So usually the best option is to stop shooting, wait for the recoil to reset, and then shoot again, right? So if you miss the first bullets, and if you miss like 5-6 bullets because you flicked so fast and shot and missed, then the amount of time you would need to get the kill is so much longer than it would if you just took your time before you shoot, and then only when you're certain you shoot and go for the kill, right? It's so much quicker if you don't lose like 2 seconds shooting nothing because you thought you were going to die instantly, right? And that's what I call panic shooting, just instantly reacting and shooting at the same time. And it's not good unless it's a really close range kill, which is easier to hit, because in other situations you're just gonna miss way too many bullets and give a chance to your opponent to kill you. Also, when you're shooting your gun, you're standing still, right? Because if you're running and shooting, your bullets are gonna go everywhere. So if you're standing still, you're a very easy target to hit. So as soon as you start shooting like this and you miss, you're standing still, you're basically a sitting duck to your opponent. So you're basically that. You're not gonna have time to reset your gun because you're a very easy target for your opponent. He can take his time and he's gonna kill you. Alright? So we don't want to do panic shooting at all, and that's why it's important to understand how much time we have for each kill, and it starts by recognizing how close his crosshair is from your head. Alright? Also, there's more things you can do about this when it comes to movement. You can use your movement to buy yourself time, and I'll explain this further in this session of the course. But for now, I'm gonna focus on a different topic. Okay, so before we talk about how to buy yourself more time with movement, let's talk about the different types of shooting your gun that exist in Valorant. I would say there's 3 main types of shooting your gun in this game. The main one, the 3 main ones are basically spraying, which is just shooting your gun all the way, then trying to control the spray. Usually people crouch as well, makes it easier. This is a spray, right? Something like this. It's very common in other games like Counter-Strike and Apex, for example. In Valorant, it's not as common. People do it, but it's not as good, and only in some situations is that good. Okay, because just the way the bullets, how much damage the bullets do on other areas of the target that are not the head, and the fire rate of the guns, that like the main guns like Phantom and Vandal, and how the spread of the spray goes and it's randomized and all that, just because of all of those factors, it takes way too long to get kills, especially multiple kills, if you're going for a spray. Only in situations where your opponents don't have a lot of space to move around and you can get like a lineup spray down. It's only good in those situations, or if it's really close range and you think you're gonna hit a headshot real quick because they're really close, then in those situations it's fine to spray, but it's not the most optimal play shooting to adapt at all. But it's something that exists and it can be used on some situations. Okay. Then you have another type of shooting, which is one-taps, which is basically the opposite of spraying. It's all about putting the crosshair on the opponent's head and then just clicking once, right? Because with the Vandal, you need 1 click to kill, and this is what a one-tap is. You can't really do this with a Phantom unless it's closer than 15 meters. It's mostly for Vandal and I guess Guardian, if you're playing Guardian, right? But one-taps is a much cleaner way of going for kills. It's harder, but it's gonna get you more kills than spraying, that's for sure. Okay, because you don't have if you force yourself to not shoot off of instinct and only shoot when you think it's gonna be a headshot, then you're actually gonna get kills faster than you would otherwise. Alright, so that's why one-tapping is also a valuable thing to do. Now, it's the best one, it's definitely not the best one because of different factors. First of all, it's really hard to do when the opponents are moving randomly, and they will do that often in games, and it's really hard to just be tracking the head constantly, trying to predict where they're gonna go, and then one tap at the right timing. It's just a hard thing to do, it's not the most efficient way of shooting. Not only that, but also in this game, the bullets are not always accurate with the main guns. Like if I'm gonna show you a quick example. I'm not gonna move my mouse and shoot always on the same spot. Okay, so I shoot like 5 bullets on the same spot, and as you can see here, they didn't all land on the same spot. There was a little cone of fire in which they spread, right? And it can be a little worse sometimes. In this example, it didn't throw off too much, but sometimes it'll like land here, one of them, right? So when you get one of these very stray bullets, it's not gonna be a headshot, and if you're just used to only tapping your mouse once, and you, by chance, you have like 25% chance of that happening, you miss, but it's not really your fault, just the game's randomness, then you might die and lose a round because of it, right? So it's not the ideal way of shooting as well. So I'm gonna get to the final one, which is the best one in my opinion, way of shooting your gun, which is basically burst shooting. You just want to burst your gun, which is basically means shoot 2 to 3 bullets at once. You don't want to shoot more than 2 to 3 bullets. I think 2 is ideal, and 3 is also fine. And what this does is you shooting more than 1 bullet, so the chances of hitting and like not missing are much higher, literally double or triple higher. But also, you're not shooting enough bullets so that the recoil goes crazy and then takes forever to reset. So you can literally shoot once, move, shoot again, shoot again, shoot again, shoot again. I'm shooting so fast and I'm always shooting accurate, and I can always take my time, make sure I'm shooting, and I'm moving. I'm constantly moving, so people will also not be killing me so easily because I'm moving in horizontally in their screen, and I'm just shooting, and I can get all of these kills. Right, so this is the best way of shooting. I'm going to give a little example with the bots here. I'm just moving around, shoot their heads, and it's really consistent, and it's like even if I miss the first shot, the second goes on the headshot and gets a kill, right? This is the best way. If I miss, I'm gonna miss on purpose, I can instantly correct, right? I missed 2 times, I even killed him on the third, and I don't have to wait almost anything because the recoil reset is so fast, right? So this is the best way of shooting, and it's the style you should be adapting, okay?